finally get a win.
Oh my God! Wow!
Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Hopefully you guys are staying safe, enjoying a wonderful Thanksgiving that has just been made a little bit better by the Bears finally snapping that 5-game losing streak and pulling off a win, 16-14 on the road against the Detroit Lions. Now we all know this win was ugly. It was close. It was actually a boring type of a game, but nonetheless, the Bears finally get a win. But before I get to my thoughts on this entire game, make sure you guys leave this video a like. That does help this channel to grow tremendously. And click the subscribe button and also click the notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But let's talk about this Bears win. Without further ado, let's get it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I always went 2 years without buying shoes and feet. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
What is there to say about this game besides the fact that it was very, very ugly and it was a very, very sloppy game by both teams? We can't say that it's against the winless Lions and the Bears should have won this game, but it was at points in this ball game where we thought the Bears had a chance to lose this game. Like I said in my preview video, the Lions are not a great football team. They're a bad team, but they are a team that always plays extremely hard, and it showed today in this game. The Bears had chances to lose this game, but fortunately enough for the Bears, they were able to sustain a long drive and pull out a win on the last-second field goal. Now, to talk about this game, the Lions are not very good, and with the showing today, it shows that the Bears aren't very good either. Despite Andy Dalton throwing for 300 yards, which I'm not a big numbers guy, him throwing for 300 yards seems really, really nice, but the Lions are not very good, so I take that with a bit of grain of salt. Even though the offense looked somewhat better, they did have that quick 2-play drive where they had a long ball to Mooney, and then right after that, a touchdown to Jimmy Graham. But when you look at this Bears offense, it's just still very inconsistent. The offensive line for the Chicago Bears still struggle to pick up blitzes, whether it's pass blitzes or whether it's run blitzes. The Bears as an offensive line struggle to pick up blitzes consistently. And it hurt us at points in this game, whether it's Montgomery being stopped in the backfield, a little bit of pressure being applied to Andy Dalton, when the Lions team do not get after quarterbacks. They struggle to pass rush, and they affected Andy Dalton. Not for the most part, but they had some plays where they affected Andy Dalton in the pocket, and that just attributes to this Bears offensive line just not being very good, especially in pass protection. Now, the running game, it had its moments. The Bears running game had its moments. This offense just was not consistent, and we've seen that all season. The Bears offense is just not consistent at all. And when you look at the Bears defensively, this might be a good game by them. Good game kind of gets killed off by the fact that we lost Roquan Smith for the game with the hamstring injury, which has been our best player. Him and Robert Quinn are right there for the defensive MVP for this Bears team. And we lost Roquan for the game. Christian Jones with a stupid penalty. Another one of those after the whistle throwdown penalties. An undisciplined Bears team. We've seen a lot of that all season. This Bears team has been extremely undisciplined when it comes to those type of silly penalties, when it comes to those type of plays where they do not hold their composure together. Jared Goff looked solid. I'm not going to say he played the greatest of games, but he did look solid for good portions of this game. And for a while, he went a while without an incompletion. Jared Goff went a while without an incompletion. That just tells you that this Bears defense is also inconsistent as well. Now, there are takeaways from a W, but when you win ugly like this, especially against a winless Lions team that were all basically shooting themselves in the foot with a ton of penalties on their own, whether it's holding, false start penalties, the Lions were shooting themselves in the foot with penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty. And a bad team usually loses games like this. And to think that the Lions were that close to beating the Bears today, this just tells you that this Bears team is just not very good. Let's just be honest with ourselves. This Bears team right now is just not a very good football team. Watching this game today, this Bears team is not very good. Now, on offense, of course, we didn't have Allen Robinson. Justin Fields did not play today. And you can see a little bit of the offense change to where Matt Nagy likes it. A lot of those curl routes, a lot of those short routes, even though we attacked deep a couple of times, which I actually like the fact that they did try to go deep against this Lions secondary, which is battered and not very good. It's the Lions. It is the Detroit Lions. And the fact that this Bears team had moments where it looked like crap, let's just be honest. The Bears team looked like crap for a good portion of this game. Now, we do have a lot of injuries, of course. Hicks was out. We have Khalil Mack out for the year. Robinson didn't play. Damian Williams is still out. And we lost Goodwin during the game. We lost Roquan Smith during the game. They lost Deandre Swift during the game as well. And Deandre Swift has been one of the bright spots of the Detroit Lions offense. And they were still able to be productive against this Bears defense. Now, of course, 14 points is not a lot. But when you're talking about the Detroit Lions, and along with the Bears, two teams that average 16 points a game. Troy Aikman said it best during the commentary, the first team to get to 17 points wins this game, because it was just a very ugly football game. A badly played football game, not just by the Lions, but also by the Bears as well. It was just not a pretty football game. Now, the first drive the Lions have, they come right down with a long bomb and score. They come down and score right away. And when I was watching this, I was just like, here we go with this again. And the Bears looked like it had moments during this game where they let up late. It just looked like they had moments where they let up late. Now, passing game, of course, you get 300 yards, of course, cool. But I'm not one of the ones that's going to buy into this whole 300-yard great game thing. Because for good portions of this game, this Bears offense could not consistently move a football against the Detroit defense that is bad. And for this offense to only muster 16 points when you're playing a bad Detroit Lions team. Now, the Bears do have some injuries, but for the most part, our offense is healthy. For the most part, our offense is healthy outside of Allen Robinson and, of course, Justin Fields. But Andy Dalton is a very capable quarterback as well. So it's not like the drop-off is tremendous. The drop-off is tremendous as far as the RPOs and the things Justin Fields can do with his legs go. But it's not like the Bears had a tremendous drop-off at the quarterback position from Fields to Dalton. And this team was still only able to muster 16 points. And the fact that Cairo Santos missed the field goal and the Lions came right down and scored, and that hurt. The Bears could have had more, but 16 points is not enough. Even when you're playing a Detroit Lions team that is depleted, it's just not enough. It's good that the Bears were finally able to snap the losing streak and finally able to get a win in the win column. But I will just be 100% honest about this Bears team as it stands right now. They're just not very good. Even without the injuries, the Bears team has just not been very good. And I think this season has just become more about the development of Justin Fields at this point. But we do finally snap the losing streak. I know I don't have a lot to say about this game because it was just an extremely ugly contest. It was extremely ugly. For a Bears team that has a lot more talent than the Detroit Lions team, it just proves, number one, how hard the Detroit Lions play. And it proves, number two, that the Bears, they're just not there. They're just not there. Now, of course, we can have a better Thanksgiving. We can have a better weekend and better football weekend because the Bears were actually able to pull off a win. But when you stop and you look deeply at this Bears roster and this Bears team as it is now, they did not play a very good game. They just did not. Well, of course, injuries do hurt the Chicago Bears team, and Darnell Mooney was an absolute bright spot all game for this Bears team. It's just the fact that the Lions shot themselves in the foot a ton. The Bears also had times where they shot themselves in their own foot with the pick in the end zone that was intended for Darnell Mooney, and the Lions cornerback made a tremendous play on the football. And the Bears did cause a turnover with the Travis Gibson strip sack and fumble recovery. So we do have some bright spots in those parts. It's just, it always seems like the Bears just cannot put it all together for one game. And it didn't happen today. Luckily, the Detroit Lions shot themselves in the foot, and the Bears were able to sustain and keep themselves in the game with all that going on. It's just they did not put it together when they needed to the most. And it almost looked like when TJ Hockenson scored that touchdown, it was almost like the Bears were falling back into those last 2 weeks of where the defense lets up a big score that ends up costing them the football game. Luckily, we were able to sustain a very long 18-play drive to get ourselves deep in the red zone. Now, of course, the Lions had penalties as well, but they were able to get the clock down to 1 second, put the ball in the middle, and Cairo Santos was able to drill a 26-yard easy give-me field goal for the Bears to win this game ugly against a winless Lions team. But at least the Bears win a game. They improved to 4-7 on the season, and the losing streak is finally over. We can finally be happy with the Bears win. But nonetheless, that is all I have for you guys today. I know I didn't have a lot to say because it was not a lot to take from this game, and the Bears looked ugly. The Lions looked ugly, but the Bears come out with a 16-14 win. Make sure you guys leave this video a like. That helps the channel to grow. And also comment your thoughts on the game down below. What did you see? What were you able to take from this? And also click that subscribe button and notification bell so you not miss a single video. But APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe out there. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.